The alpha wolf has transcodged the wilderness to become one of the most powerful archetypes in modern human culture. We see this image everywhere, in high-stakes boardroom seminars, aggressive fitness marketing, and social media influencers preaching a gospel of dominance. In this popular narrative, the alpha is a lone warrior who climbed a mountain of rivals to claim his throne. He represents the peak of a rigid, cutthroat hierarchy where the strong rule through intimidation and the weak, the betas, simply follow. It is a seductive, cinematic version of leadership that mirrors our own societal obsession with status, competition, and the survival of the fittest. However, this cultural obsession is built on a foundation of shaky science and misinterpreted observations. By projecting our own human insecurities and power fantasies onto the wolf, we have created a myth that feels true but lacks biological merit. We use the term alpha to justify aggression and social distance, assuming that nature rewards the loudest and most forceful voice in the room. In reality, this alpha persona is a human construction that tells us far more about our own psychological desire for control than it does about the actual behavior of the world's most sophisticated social predators. The myth of the alpha was not born in the wild, but within the confines of a cage. In 1947, behaviorist Rudolf Schenkel published a study based on captive wolves at the Basel Zoo, where unrelated adults from different origins were forced to live in a cramped artificial environment. Because these wolves were strangers with no natural social ties, they engaged in violent, frequent competitions to establish a pecking order. Schenkel observed these high-tension battles and concluded that wolves were naturally driven by a constant, aggressive struggle for dominance. This study became the scientific bedrock for the alpha concept, painting a picture of a species defined by internal rivalry and a rigid vertical hierarchy. However, we now know that these observations were deeply flawed because they ignored the impact of captivity on animal psychology. Studying wolves in a zoo to understand their natural social structure is like studying humans in a high-security prison to understand the dynamics of a typical family. In the wild, wolves have the space to roam and the freedom to leave a group if they choose. In the enclosure, the alpha behavior was actually a desperate response to stress, overcrowding, and the lack of familial bonds. While the 1947 study revolutionized how we thought wolves worked, it actually captured a group of animals in a state of social trauma, not their true biological nature. In the wild, the rigid military-style hierarchy we imagine simply evaporates, replaced by the intimate dynamics of a nuclear family. Most wolf packs are not collections of unrelated warriors fighting for dominance. They are cohesive units, consisting of a long-term breeding pair and their offspring from several consecutive years. The alpha isn't a title won in a duel, it is the natural role of a parent. Just as human parents guide their children, the lead wolves direct the pack's movements, coordinate hunts, and provide protection, all without the need for constant displays of aggression or status checking. This shift in understanding changes everything about how we view wolf psychology. Instead of a throne that can be usurped by any ambitious subordinate, the leadership position is inherently tied to age, experience, and biological lineage. Young wolves don't spend their days plotting to overthrow their father or mother. They spend them learning how to survive. When they reach maturity, they don't usually fight for control of the existing pack. They leave to find a mate and start a family of their own. In nature, the alpha is less like a warlord and more like a patriarch or matriarch, leading through a bond of trust and shared survival. Beyond the bonds of family, the true psychology of a lead wolf is defined by high emotional intelligence and social regulation. In a wild pack, the leaders act as the social glue that prevents internal friction from jeopardizing the hunt. A lead wolf doesn't rule through fear. They rule through a sophisticated ability to read the moods of their packmates. They are often the ones who de-escalate tension between siblings or offer comfort after a failed chase. By maintaining a calm and stable temperament, the leaders ensure that the pack remains a synchronized unit, capable of taking down prey many times their size, a feat that would be impossible in a group fractured by constant infighting. This alpha psychology is rooted in benevolence and self-sacrifice rather than selfishness. Observations of wild packs show that lead wolves frequently demonstrate immense patience, often standing back to let the youngest pups eat their fill of a fresh kill before taking their own share. Their dominance is expressed not by being the most aggressive, but by being the most reliable. They provide the decisive direction during a crisis and the nurturing presence during rest. In the lupine world, the most successful leaders aren't those who can intimidate their subordinates, but those who can most effectively inspire cooperation and loyalty. The true psychology of the wolf offers a profound lesson in leadership that contradicts almost every modern stereotype. When we strip away the alpha myth, we are left with a creature whose success depends entirely on its ability to cooperate, nurture, and protect. In the wild, strength isn't measured by how many rivals a wolf can suppress, but by how many pack members it can keep alive through a harsh winter. This shift in perspective transforms the wolf from a symbol of cold, solitary aggression into a master of social cohesion. The alpha is not the wolf that stands alone at the top of the mountain. It is the wolf that ensures the entire pack reaches the summit together. Ultimately, the story of the wolf is a story of service. By observing their natural behavior, we see that the most influential individuals are those who provide the most value to their community. They lead by example, sacrificing their own immediate needs for the benefit of the pups and the elderly. As we move forward, redefining alpha psychology allows us to move away from a model of dominance and toward a model of stewardship. In the lupine world, as in our own, the most enduring power doesn't come from the ability to instill fear. It comes from the capacity to build a family.